Tensions in Los Angeles escalated Sunday as thousands of protesters took to the streets in response to U.S. President Donald Trump's extraordinary deployment of the National Guard, blocking off a major freeway and setting self-driving cars on fire as law enforcement used tear gas, rubber bullets, and flashbangs to control the crowd. According to Associated Press, many protesters dispersed as evening fell and police declared an unlawful assembly, a precursor to officers moving in and making arrests of people who don't leave. Some of those remaining threw objects at police from behind a makeshift barrier that spanned the width of a street, and others hurled chunks of concrete, rocks, electric scooters, and fireworks at California Highway Patrol officers and their vehicles parked on the closed southbound 101 freeway. Officers ran under an overpass to take cover. Sunday's protests in Los Angeles, a sprawling city of 4 million people, were centered in several blocks of downtown. It was the third and most intense day of demonstrations against Trump's immigration crackdown in the region, as the arrival of around 300 Guard troops spurred anger and fear among many residents. The Guard was deployed specifically to protect federal buildings, including the downtown detention center where protesters concentrated. Several dozen people were arrested throughout the weekend of protest. One was detained Sunday for throwing a Molotov cocktail at police, and another for ramming a motorcycle into a line of officers.
The guy over there with the ice is KKK. They don't like that. Careful, careful.
U.S. Army tanks and other equipment arrived by train to the nation's capital to take part in military parade for the service's 250th birthday celebration on June 14, which will feature hundreds of military vehicles and aircraft and thousands of soldiers. According to Associated Press, among the equipment arriving Saturday from Fort Cavazos, Texas, are Army tanks, Bradley fighting vehicles, Paladin howitzers, and other equipment. The event has grown extensively in scope and size since Army planners started working on a festival 2 years ago to mark the day, and have now added a military parade, which President Donald Trump had unsuccessfully tried to do during his first term. The Army's anniversary celebration is set for June 14, which also happens to be Trump's birthday. It will include concerts, fireworks, NFL players, fitness competitions, and displays all over the National Mall for day-long festivities. The Army expects as many as 200,000 people could attend, and that putting on the celebration will cost an estimated $25 million to $45 million. On the day of the parade, tanks as well as 28 tracked Bradley fighting vehicles, 28 wheeled Stryker combat vehicles, for tracked M109 Paladin self-propelled howitzers and other towed artillery will maneuver to the start of the parade route just off the National Mall. They will travel toward the White House, driving over thick metal plating to protect the streets at some parade points where the vehicles make a sharp turn. The Army said it's also planning some additional asphalt work and putting new rubber padding on the tank's metal tracks to try to minimize street damage.